Hey everyone, I'm JR, and this is another one of Mike's mini history lessons. How would you like to become the Pope? Or are you interested in knowing how someone else becomes the Pope? If so, this is the lesson for you. The Pope, also known as Supreme Pontiff, is the Bishop of Rome, leader of the worldwide Catholic Church, and head of state representing the Holy See, because Vatican City is a sovereign country. That's right, they even issue passports and license plates like other countries. No citizens are actually born there, but as Pope, you are head of this country. And as long as someone works in Vatican City, the Pope can give or take away their Vatican citizenship. Now, the official rules to qualify to become the Pope are as follows. 1. Be Catholic. 2. Be a man. And that's it. Yep, still a little antiquated, I know. Sorry, ladies. But let's go for a ride on this historic precedent train to see how they really pick the Pope. Cardinals select the Pope from among themselves. So step 1, be Catholic. Step 2, be a man. And step 3, become a cardinal. But how do you become a cardinal? First, you have to become a priest. Unlike some online religions, the Catholic Church doesn't allow people to just fill out paperwork and become ordained. To the Catholic Church, this is not something you do because it would be cool to perform your friend's wedding. This is a profession. So first, you need to get a bachelor's degree in Catholic philosophy, then a master's in divinity through seminary school. Also, you must be a man, unmarried, and be willing to remain that way while abstaining from sexual activity indefinitely. You need to be put in charge of a church by first working with another priest who is in charge of their own church. Priests are appointed to churches they then run and oversee. The next step is to become a bishop. A bishop runs a cathedral which oversees all the local churches. Basically, the local bishops keep a list of good replacements for when another bishop retires or dies. To move up from priest to bishop, you should be at least 35 years old, a priest for at least 5 years, and have obtained a PhD in theology. Doing that will get your name on a list of priests that meet bishop qualifications. Once a current bishop retires, dies, or becomes a cardinal, the other bishops will hand that list to the Vatican representative for your country. 3 priests are then chosen from the list and interviewed. Once the interview process is complete, the Pope himself can accept and appoint you a bishop or reject you and start the search over again. For the sake of this podcast, we're going to say you made it. So congratulations, you're a bishop. Now it's time to become a cardinal. Cardinals are essentially bishops with more responsibilities. For this, the Pope has to know who you are and like your work. Then the Pope has to personally appoint you to the position. So let's say you did that, and now you're a cardinal. Now you have to win the trust, affection, and admiration of your fellow cardinals because remember what we said earlier. Cardinals elect the Pope from amongst themselves. And it can be very political and take quite some time. But when the current Pope dies, retires, or in some rare cases in history is retired, if you know what I mean. I spoke in another episode of how not all popes throughout history were the epitome of sainthood, including one who was thrown out of a window to his death for, let's call it, coveting another man's wife, if you catch my drift. But I digress. Once the position of Pope is vacant, the College of Cardinals begins the electoral process. Once you are elected as the new Pope, you get to pick a regnal name or a new reign name that will be used as your name through your tenure as Pope and usually for the rest of time in history. Now, this name has few restrictions and is often the name of a predecessor, mentor, or a family member. The Pope can also retain his baptismal name if he so chooses. Your new name is announced and you are officially the Pope. So let's recap, shall we? Main requirements: be a man, be Catholic. Next, go to college to become a priest. Be an assistant priest, then become a priest who runs a church. Obtain a PhD in theology. Be 35 years old and a priest for at least 5 years. Then become a bishop. Get noticed and appointed as a cardinal by the Pope. Get elected by other cardinals to become Pope. And there you go. Easy peasy. Or at least that's the lesson you would get if Mike was your history teacher. Hey guys, thanks for listening. If you have any suggestions or topics for us to cover, email us at 4guysmedianetwork@gmail.com. If you're on the go, you can subscribe to our shows on iTunes. Be sure to check out our Patreon page, 4Guys Media Network, for access to exclusive content like minisodes and more. We have a lot of goals to hit, so we can keep improving and continue providing more content ad-free. So all of your donations are greatly appreciated. Make sure you subscribe to the 4Guys Media Network YouTube channel for all of our other projects by clicking the link on the right. And lastly, if you want to watch another episode, just click the link on the left. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.